Так, всем привет. Сегодня буду стримить с камерой. Посмотрим. Oh, well, actually I'm gonna speak English today, so hello everyone. I'm trying to stream with the camera today. We'll see how it goes. Today we have a meta stream where I'm working to work on this panel you see to the right, basically right here. And then it's an app written in Angular, and the problem is right now it's on my local host. So every time I want to stream, I need to start the server and I need to reconfigure OBS to display it. So I want it to be on its own domain, so I can just deploy the latest version, and then I will be able to update everything in Firebase. Let me switch my points to Russian, to English. Allow to edit this text in from the browser. And then right now, as you can see, it's just like piece of code from the browser. And then the same allow editing the text in the bottom from the browser. Stop. Join chat. I want to show the latest follower, and I want to upload all of this to Firebase hosting. And we're working on this panel basically. Right now it should switch to English, and I can actually start working on it. So here I just used the feature from macOS which I learned about recently, which allows you to pin certain windows and made them full screen. Now I don't know how to access the browser URL bar. Yeah. Right. So I have like an admin panel, which I guess is where we're going to spend most of the time today. Let me see if I can pin it again. So this goes to the right of screen, and then WebStorm goes. Oh, where is WebStorm? That's weird. I'll just. Oh, so this is already full screen. Yeah, so this macOS feature is kind of weird. Here you go. So I need to unpin both of them. Now I need to unpin this one. I'm so confused. Okay, I'm just gonna unpin every single thing and just drag and drop it to like this. Yeah, I tried, not yet macOS. Alright, so I have this little panel, and I think what I want to do is I want to take this description, paste it here as is, and then I want to display this description on the sidebar to the right here. Right. So let me figure out how to do that. I also want to open the chat. So now I have the chat in front of me. If anybody wants to also talk, here is Google Voice link. Right, I think we're ready to start. I don't remember what was the last thing I did here. So let me check. So we have a chat component, which basically includes this panel. And then inside of the chat component, we probably do have some access to the Firebase observable containing all the data. And if we don't, then I'm gonna add it now. Okay, so we do not. We do have access to the Twitch API. And let me see, I should have a file here, which is called waiting screen editor. Let me see what Firebase stuff we're doing here. So we have a waiting service. And then it has a latest stream. So right now, this part of the app is used to generate a preview. Like a nice picture, so you can post it in the chat. So what I want to decide is whether I want to control all the other stream things from here, or if I want to go on a different screen. I think for now, just for simplicity, I'm gonna just do it from here. It should be good enough. So I have this description, which I want to display on the panel to the right. That shouldn't be very hard. So I go to my chat component, which contains the panel. I go to the actual component, and then I include the waiting service. So read-only, waiting service, and I think it's just called waiting service. Yep, that should work. So this service has a prop called latest stream, which I'm gonna use right now. I can throw in ng container for now, and then I would say ng if waiting service latest stream async as stream, and then for now I'm just gonna put on the description as is stream, and maybe I can just use JSON pipe so I can see what's up there. And, oh no, I misspelled JSON. So you can see like all my changes are actually reflected on the screen. So if there is an error, then it kind of covers the whole thing, which is something which will be fixed hopefully by the end of this stream. So right now it's saying that stream does not exist, which is weird because we're doing this as stream here. Oh, I see. This is because we're not inside the container. I want to be inside the container, and then I say stream JSON. So it will appear on the screen in a second. There you go. So this is what I did. So I just put it inside of container. It was outside before. Nice. So now we do have all the props we need. We have name, we have a stream date, and we have a description. And description is what we actually want. So I just go with a stream.description. And that should actually make it. It will show raw HTML, which is definitely not something I want to do. So instead, we are going to use a div with a prop of inner HTML, which will be bound to stream description. All right. So now, I think, hopefully, on this bar below me, there will be points which I can edit right here. Let me see. So I just say, hello, I'm live. Can you see me? Oh no. What happened here? There was some weird like refreshed like thing. Okay, so I can see that it gets updated as I type. And it's pretty much real time. That's pretty cool. I've worked on the part which saves this to the database on the previous stream, I think. Or maybe it was even out of the stream. So cool. So we can switch these to done. Let's use a green checkbox. Nice. So for now, I'm just gonna have raw HTML. But I think what I can also do is use some kind of like medium editor or like something similar, where it would be just like what you see is what you get, which is, I think it would be a nicer way of doing this, but it doesn't bother me for now. I can just use HTML and be happy. So let's move on to the next thing. So you can see in the bottom, which is I guess somewhere, oh interesting. So basically somewhere there, it seems like I'm flipped horizontally, which is okay. But basically, like if you look there in the very, very bottom, there is a panel which has things jumping from the bottom. I want it to also be configurable. And I also want to figure out how to get some text there, like something like, for example, how do I get the latest follower there? So that's something I want to find out how. Let me commit. I think I haven't committed for a while. So I'll just say that this is support for editing notes from the browser. Right, it's it's good enough. So next thing I'm gonna do is go to the bar component. Did the commit go through? Doesn't seem so. Let me do it again. Okay. It's probably going to complain about something. Don't care. Right. So I'm gonna go to the bar component. And look at the actual TypeScript part, the class. So right now, messages is an array. The question is, do I want the UI to be like a text area, or do I want it to be like separate things? I think for now, I'll just start with a text area, and then we can split on the new line, and then we can also allow HTML there. Should be cool. So how do we do that? I'll go to admin component. Let me see where the component is. Oh, because it's called waiting screen editor. Yeah, great naming is definitely not there yet, but I'll also fix this, maybe even on the stream. So I'll copy paste the description part. Right here. What's going on here? Upstream Mac launcher. I don't know what's going on here. I'll deny that. So now we have a copy. I think it ran Angular debugger for some reason, or CLI server or something, which I personally don't care about. I have my server running in the terminal already. So now we have two description fields, and then I don't even know how to call those little messages showing in the bottom. I'll just call them highlights. I'll have to come up with a better language, but this will do for now. So ng model would be stream highlights, and then on change I'm gonna do update by prop name. Okay, so I have this ugly thing which I wanna rewrite later, but for now I'll make it work. Alright, let me paste it here. So the property name would be highlights. Basically what it does here, let me copy paste the property. It goes to update stream method, and it calls update stream, and then it passes the stream and updates the new property value. So that should work. I also need to update the actual stream properties, because I just added a new, oh no, open tag text area not terminated. Alright, let me terminate it. Seems like it is. I missed a quote. Here you go. Alright, I'm really looking forward for the moment when I'll upload this and it will stop breaking things. Let me just share my screen without this panel for now. There you go. Alright, so what's the error? Highlights event. Property highlights does not exist on type UI stream. That's fair. That's because I did not add it yet. So let me add it now. I'll connect to the component. This is the UI stream. And now it has a property of highlights. And it should be a string. And then later we can turn it into array. Cool. So what happens now is, oh, something is broken again. Yeah, so when I create a new stream, I want to pass the new property. That's also fair. Waiting service. So default value would be just empty string. And I think that should make it, that should run it. Let's see. Okay, so this kind of worked, except the part where all descriptions disappeared, which is weird. That's okay. I can recover them, but I'll need to figure out like why that happened. Alright, looking at the highlights, let me confirm they're saved. Refreshing right here. Yeah, it seems like they are being saved. So I'm gonna go back to the chat component file, and then I'll look at the history of this, and I will copy paste the notes from there. I will need to figure out what happened to the description. Maybe I did not update. Let me confirm that. So description, and then highlights. Yeah, it seems like we're in a good state. So maybe initially I left the update description callback and then it screwed it up. If this happens again, then we'll have to investigate and figure out. So now when we get our highlights updated, yeah, I'm gonna bring back the sidebar and I'm gonna bring back the description. So to do this, here you go. So now on the below me it says what's going on. It says description. What I wanna do is I wanna say what it used to say before I erase the whole thing, which should be in my local history. Okay, here you can see the history of me misspelling JSON 3 times. And that should do. So I'll just copy paste it and I'll hope that it will not get removed. Alright, and then we already done with the first item. Okay, I don't know why it would not let me. Maybe I can just drag and drop this emoji here. There you go. So this is done, and now we're working on the second thing where we want to allow editing. Maybe I can wrap it in a bold. Okay, now everything is bold. Here you go. So now we are working on the part where we want to allow editing the text in the bottom, like the one which jumps out from the browser, basically from this highlights. So we say highlights and we say line 2, line 3. So those three things will appear from the bottom. Let me make it work now. Where is the bar component? So here we have those messages, and then what do we do with them? We have some animations. We have a selected slide, which is an index. Okay, so now instead of sourcing messages from an array, I'm gonna have a constructor. And then in the constructor, I'm going to require waiting service and the type of waiting service. And I'm going to have a combine latest. So first I'll have a highlights observable. So this equals to this waiting service latest stream, and then we're gonna pipe over it, and we're gonna use map to extract only the property which we need, which is highlights. So I'm gonna go with stream highlights. Cool. So just to test it, we're gonna subscribe to it, and then just throw in debugger right there. Let's see if that worked. I'm opening DevTools while it's rebuilding. Oh no, there is an error. A class mem. Of course, I set const. I meant read only. Right, fixing this. Right. So now it will refresh, and I will see. Hopefully, this thing stopped in the debugger. Yeah, I think it's loading. I think it's coming. Gonna wait for a second. It doesn't seem like it does it. I think this is because, oh, I know what's going on. I think this is because I'm not in the bar component. So let me get there. So be more human asks if I just started working on this or if I'm continuing working on this. Yeah, I started on a previous stream, and yes, I'm continuing working. So there is some magic done already, which is basically displaying this chat thing and what's going on section in the bottom. And now I'm working on more features for this thing. Yes. I think the previous one was recorded. I did a little bit of the stuff off stream because I wanted some of the functionality, but the bigger chunk is there. So meanwhile, I'm opening the bar component, and finally I'm hoping to hit this debugger on refresh. Okay, which continues to not happen. That's weird. So I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna take this highlights, and I'm gonna leave it as an observable, and I'm gonna output it in the bar component. So I'll just go with pre, and then I would just go with code. I think that's what we did on the last stream, and then I just go with highlights, pipe JSON. All right, let's see if this works. So in the bottom bar, a bunch of JSON should appear. Okay, now everything just disappeared there, so I don't see it anymore. All right, next attempt. Let me pull this thing. All right, so I'm taking this URL from OBS, jumping in here. So now we have the bar, and we have the error. So what's the error? Converting circular structure to JSON. Oh no. Subscriber. Okay, so there is some RxJS magic. Why does it happen? Let's subscribe back. So we're gonna subscribe, throwing a debugger. All right. So now I'm gonna refresh, and now I'll see what's the value. For me, what I expect is just a simple array. So I do not understand why it's happening. We just stopped. That's a good sign. Let's see what's which value comes there. I think what happened, and the reason I forgot, the reason I got this error is because I forgot pipe async. So I was trying to JSON encode the JSON stringify the observable and not the value. So we are getting the right value. The only thing I want to do here is I take those highlights and I'm going to split them over the new line. I don't know if this will work on Windows. I think I don't care because I use it on Mac and it's just for my personal usage. I don't expect highlights to be anything which is not string at any point, so I don't need this also. Right, so now we're getting an array. So we are back to the format in which we have the messages. Let's refresh and confirm, but I'm pretty happy about it in my head at least. Let's see. So in the A, we have... No, we don't. We still have the same. I think maybe it didn't refresh. Yeah, I think it didn't refresh. Let's see. Because I'm doing the split. Here we go. So now we have an array of things which you won't display in the bottom bar. How do we display it? We use... So how do we do it? Here, instead of messages, we are going to go with highlights async. Pipe async. And then we also have to do combine latest with the interval, because here we use the number of messages. So I'll create selected slide 2, combine latest. So it says it's deprecated in when I type it, but it's actually incorrect. Like here it's stroken out. That's not real. They deprecated like a specific version, but IntelliJ cannot distinguish them. So if you put observables like this, then this is deprecated. But if you put them properly in an array, then it's not a problem. So I'm putting here the interval, so I'll take this, can be private, read only, interval. All right, so every 15 seconds, and this is basically how often the messages in the bottom are switched. And starting with 0, I want to start immediately. We are, so I take this interval, and also I'm taking the list of messages, highlights, these highlights. Right. So once I get both values, I iterate over them. I go with pipe, I map over the values, and I get index, and I get messages. I need to wrap it in parens because we're destructuring this array, and that should work. So index, I just say I equals index, and then modulo this message's length. Oh, I can just return it. Okay, so the old selected slide we don't need. The new selected slide we do need. And then I screwed up spacing somewhere here, right? Okay, that's a lot of parens. Okay, it seems like I'm good. No, something is expected. Let's see. Let's see what matches where. It looks good. I don't know why it says something is expected. Okay, I think it says compiled successfully. I'm gonna ignore IntelliJ and see if it works. Now everything is broken. I'm gonna bring back a non-overlaid version of the screen so we can debug this error together. Selected slide. So I'm missing a $sign in the end of the name. So what's happening here is we get an index which based on the value of the number of messages basically increases and goes like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we display one of the 3 messages at a time. The reason we cannot just return the message is because we're using Angular animations. So we iterate over all messages and then we only display one at a time. So because each message is a separate entity, the animations start working. High space green cut. You ask if we were able to run Clubhouse for web. No, unfortunately not. So for the past couple streams, it was in Russian. We tried to build a web clone of Clubhouse. We went moderately far. We were able to get like list of channels, and we were able to like log in with all of it, and then we got stuck on the very latest part where we're trying to get the actual voice in the browser, and that did not work. And that was something related to Agora API being, I would call it fixed, because I assume Clubhouse would not want web clients to access their chats. So yeah, unfortunately this did not end well. You can look in the last couple streams the whole story. But well, also seems like Clubhouse is becoming less hyped anyway. But there is a bug in one of the repos, and I can see like multiple people having the same issues. So what used to work before doesn't work anymore, which is kind of sad. All right, so let's see what the errors are. I think I know what the problem is here. Where is, I think I have an extra semicolon somewhere. Start with pipe. Here. So I was just looking at the wrong place to bring the break it back. Okay, now it seems like it works. I'm gonna switch to display the overlay again, and let's see if this helps. Oh, it's all black. Where's the overlay? Okay, let me change the address real quick. Alright. Oh, things are actually getting slow here. Maybe it's just loading. Okay, I'm gonna